Hi, I'm Christine Comaford of Smart Tribes Institute, and I am a leadership and culture coach. We use brain-based techniques, neuroscience, neurolinguistics to help the leaders that we coach and their teams get remarkable results. So today what I'm curious about is, how do you get thrown off your groove? We're all control freaks. We try to control our world and it just doesn't work. So I'll bet the vast majority of the times that you get thrown off your groove is when you're either trying to control something or trying to gain approval, validation from others. The ego wants both constantly. Control, 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 get approval, get approval, get approval. But both make us feel lousy. Both impact our performance as a leader. So let's say that you wanted to control a particular outcome or situation and you didn't get the result you wanted. Your ego likely steered you into blaming others or external influences or external conditions or shaming yourself, which is blaming yourself. And that felt lousy, right? And next, let's look at approval. So maybe you did something and you wanted others to acknowledge you, to appreciate you, to approve of you and your work, and you didn't get the approval that you wanted. That feels lousy too, huh? So let's get some choice around these dynamics so that we can feel good instead. Now, control dramas begin very early on in our lives, okay? And James Redfield describes these really effectively. As children, we forge a strategy to get attention from our parents so that we can have the experience of being loved. And we choose our strategy based on the strategies that we see our parents use, that they got based on what their parents used. So there's no one to blame here. Now, control dramas are crucial though, because your business and your personal life are profoundly affected by them. They cause you, they cause those that you work with and live with the most unhappiness of all of your most challenging behaviors. They consume a tremendous amount of emotional energy. So let's look at the top 4 control dramas. In my decades of coaching high-performing leaders, I've repeatedly helped to cure these 4 key control dramas. So let's unpack them. And I want to note that we often see control attempts when we're avoiding conflict. So please check out my video on conflict avoidance. Okay, here are the 4. Number 1, interrogator. Think, as I go through each one, think about someone that you know, or if it's you. Interrogator. This control drama asks excessive amounts of questions, makes you explain why, justify your decisions, justify your behaviors, possibly even justify your existence. They're high on doubt, low on trust, okay? Number 2, intimidator. The intimidator is busy criticizing, putting others down, saying you or others are not enough. Their standards are either unrealistically high, or they're vague, or they're constantly challenging or changing, so you can't succeed. Number 3, aloof. This control drama avoids commitments, can't get pinned down, avoids detail, keeps everybody in the dark, wondering what's going on, communicates very little, and they want to keep their options open, which is why they're so vague and ambiguous. Option number 4, or control drama number 4, poor me. This control drama thrives on being the martyr. They are big on self-pity, love believing everything is being done to them and that they have no power. They are akin to a victim and rescuer combination. So all these sophisticated versions of control cause lots of drama in the workplace and at home. So let's look at different scenarios and how to navigate them, okay? The aloof leader. The aloof leader will likely attract other aloofs so that nobody has to commit, or poor me's, victims, right? The interrogators in the organization are going to go nuts since they can't get a straight answer. Then accountability, execution, results will suffer. How do you navigate this? Do a group outcome frame so everybody gets on the same page and agrees to the next steps and who's going to own what. Be very clear on the next steps. Be very clear on who's doing what when. get your coach to help you as well. Remember the outcome frame. What would you like? What will having that do for you? How will you know when you have it? When, where, with whom would you like it? What value might you risk or lose? What are your next steps? Now, an interrogator leader will attract other interrogators or aloofs. Check this out. So everybody will be interrogating one another, or avoiding details, and decision-making will suffer. This also will impact accountability, execution, and results. How do you navigate when you have an interrogator leader, an interrogator CEO? You want to make sure that you have very clear, abundantly clear swim lanes or decision spaces. Everybody really knows who owns what. That's going to be crucial. Accountability structures, really crucial. Work with a leadership coach to shift this dynamic. How about an intimidator leader? Likely attract other intimidators or poor me's. This one is tricky because intimidators generally get great business results. So on the outside, it looks like this dynamic is actually working, but long term it's not. So how do we navigate? We boost emotional intelligence. And this will help the intimidator increase their awareness of what it's like to be somebody else and how they are affecting that other person's experience. Okay. Poor me leader, they're going to attract other poor me's or intimidators. Intimidators might get irritated and try to take over, causing anarchy or upset in the organization. What do? The poor me leader needs to reestablish his or her energetic weight, step into their role and the authority and power that it conveys, communicate clearly. With all of these, I really recommend that you take our leadership assessment. You'll see a link to it below. Please give us your questions, your comments. We want to know how we can help you. So let's net this out. 4 key control dramas: intimidator, interrogator, aloof, poor me. Most of the disconnections, misunderstandings between people in times of stress are caused by these. Each control drama, once identified, can be shifted to a healthy alternative, okay? Using the tools and the methods that we described. The ego wants to control and seek approval. That is what it does. When we catch ourselves either trying to control or trying to seek approval, we can pause and choose to be present instead and ask us, why am I having this behavior? What story am I telling myself? What's your control drama? What's the cost of it? Put it in the comments below. Thanks for joining me.